Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you guys had a great weekend. But we are back into the NBA grind. Got a 6 or 7 game slate for tomorrow. As always, if you're looking for more in-depth content, where I give you guys player pools, sportsbook plays, whole bunch of stuff, I'll have my Discord link down below. And then I post all these videos on Reddit where I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day, and you can ask me questions leading up to lock about the slate. I'll have that link down below. And then if you ever need to message me, you can get a hold of me on Twitter. I will have that also linked down below. So let's get into my lineup from yesterday. Had a good day. My other lineup did not cash. Like made a little bit of money yesterday. My core yesterday was Emmanuel Quickly. He smashed at low ownership. Kyle Kuzma core play. He did great. Kevin Porter Jr. core pretty straightforward there with those two, with the teams to himself basically. Wasn't getting away from either of them. And then I had Jordan Poole as a core play. He unfortunately busted. He was in my other lineup. That one did not cash, but I felt good about the slate. Like Jalen Durham was a guy I was really high on. He broke the slate at lower ownership. But yeah, made a little bit of money. Nothing crazy. Jordan Poole sunk my other lineup, unfortunately. So yeah, without further ado, I suppose we shall just jump right into this 7 game slate for tomorrow. Sorry I didn't have a video last night. Just with the smaller slates, I'm probably not going to make videos for when it's like a 3, 4 game slate. But like the 5+ game slates, we'll make videos for and stuff like that. Just checking one thing on my phone really quickly. Um, yeah, all right, that's it. Let's just jump right into the slate. Let me see if I have any question to answer. One. Let's just jump right in. All right, Detroit and Atlanta, great matchup here for Detroit. Um, great matchup here for Detroit. Looking at the rotation from last game, like you're just seeing Kate Cunningham play big minutes. Duran's going to get his 30. Tobias Harris is playing a ton of minutes. Alzer should play around 30. Malik Beasley around 20 off the bench. Tim Hardaway Jr. 25 to 30 minutes in the starting lineup. Stewart to get the backup 5. So I think the main guy here to target, and I think he's one of the best spend ups on the board today. I might make it a priority to play him tomorrow if we have enough value. Is going to be Kate Cunningham in a phenomenal matchup going up against Atlanta. She'll play big minutes as long as the game stays close, doing everything for the team. 10.4K price hasn't really moved too much. I think he looks fantastic. I think he's one of the best spend ups on the board. Jalen Duran at 7K, he's been phenomenal of late. This is another matchup you could definitely target. Atlanta, they've been susceptible to opposing bigs, so I don't mind him. I think the price point is getting up there. I still think he's a pretty damn good play, though. He should play around 30 minutes. Going to get you a double double most likely. He's been a lot more aggressive offensively. Even these assists, like I don't think it's sustainable, but like they're running some offense through him it seems. So yeah, I mean I think Duran's pretty damn solid. Center on this slate could change right now if everyone's in on like Cleveland. It does seem pretty weak. So yeah, I think Duran's a pretty damn good play. Tobias Harris, the good thing with him is it's a good matchup and he's going to play close to 40 minutes. That's the one upside with him. He's been a lot more aggressive offensively. If he's low owned, I like taking shots on him. If he's somewhat chalky, I would always just like to fade like a chalkier Tobias Harris, but I have no issue there at all. And then others are pretty safe. I wish he was back at that like 5.3K price tag, but all the value on this slate is really priced up. So 5.5K, Ozar Thompson that should play around 30 minutes. Statue suffer, can get you a couple rebounds, dishing the ball a bit. I think he's a pretty solid play in the mid range as well. So this Detroit team definitely looks like a pretty solid team to target tomorrow. Tim Hardaway Jr. is playable in large field stuff. Just because the price point's down, it's fine. Could do worse, I suppose. Probably be like 1% owned tomorrow. I guess okay, but I'm not going to really mess with too much else here. And I apologize, guys. Let me just answer questions real quick. One. All right, that's it. Sorry about that. All right, bad matchup here. Detroit's been one of the better defensive teams in the league of late, but like Trae Young at 9.3K, it's just too cheap of a price point. Orlando's actually a pretty good matchup for Trae. Now he's going into an actual bad matchup here. So, do I think he's too cheap? Yes. Is it a bad matchup? Yes. Do I think he still has a ceiling? Yes, absolutely. He's 9.3K Trae Young, playing huge minutes with no Jalen Johnson. They have no offense outside of him and Karis LeVert. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's a good spend up. I think Dyson's just too pricey for me. I know he continues to smash. He gets there. He's a better play on FanDuel, most likely, but yeah, he's fine. I'm probably not going to play him, but he's fine. We do have Capella back, so Okongwu should play around 30 minutes. They'll likely do like a 28-22 split or like 30. Did I just do the math wrong? 30-18 split. I believe that's what it was last game. Doesn't really stand out to me. Not the best matchup here for Okongwu. Karis LeVert, I mean, they don't have offense. Like, they need his offense. I still think he's a solid value at 5.4K. I wish he was still below that 5K range, but I have no issue with him. I think he's going to play 30 minutes in competitive games as long as he stays out of foul trouble for no reason. So don't mind Karis LeVert there. Capella just too pricey if he's only going to play 18 minutes. Niang should play 25-ish minutes, playable value. I'm not going to play Guy. He's just going to get those 2 shifts, 1 8-minute shift in the first, 1 8-minute shift in the third, and that's going to be it for him. He got less than that last game, so I can't go there personally. All right, let's move on to Phoenix. Great matchup here. Now, Nick Richards. If Toronto is going to be without Jakob Poeltl, I would be a little bit careful with Nick Richards. Up against smaller teams, they control his minutes a little bit. So, like, when they're playing smaller, they're using, like, Chris Boucher out there. Now, they did start Orlando Robinson, but, like, they're going to use, like, some Mogbo, some Boucher. So, just be a little bit careful there with Nick Richards. If Orlando starts, I feel a little bit better there. Or if Jakob Poeltl plays, I feel a little bit better. But up against, like, when they're playing small ball, with their smaller ball lineup, I'd be a little bit careful there with Nick. Don't love him. I think there's probably better options to choose from in that price range. But like if he gets his 25 to 30 minutes at this price point, I think he's perfectly fine in a really good matchup, right? I think it's mainly Phoenix for me. Like the top 3 guys. I think Bradley Beal started today, played 33 minutes, had I believe he had a big game today. It's just too cheap. So I'm pretty high on Bradley Beal. I think Book, KD, great matchup for both of them. No one's going to be able to stop either of them. I think they're 2 really good spend ups. Royce O'Neal's playable, ties off the bench, came off the bench at 4-7, just a large field play. And I think that's it. I think my main interest here is just the top 3 guys. I think they're all pretty damn good. And then moving on to Toronto. So really just depends on Jakob Poeltl. If he's in and not on a limit, I really like him. If he is out and they start Orlando Robinson again, I think he shoots up to one of the best point per dollar values on the slate. I did not expect him to play 30 minutes. I did not. So if we're going to get 30 minutes from a 3.6K Orlando Robinson, he is going to shoot up to one of the best value plays on the board if they go with that same starting lineup. Grady Dick is playable. I love Emmanuel Quickly once again. Really good matchup. Phoenix, they let you score on them. They let you do whatever. They don't stop you. They don't want to stop you. They just try to outscore you. So Quickly off his minutes restriction. I absolutely love Emmanuel Quickly tomorrow. I think RJ Barrett's pretty strong, and I don't mind Scotty Barnes. I think main interest here is the top 3 guys in Orlando Robinson if Jakob Poeltl sits. Moving on to Washington, it's just a headache right now. Really hard to say. If we get Koulibaly and Sarr out, we're definitely going to have some value. I think the starters here would be Jordan Poole, Bob Carrington, Keyshawn George, Justin Champagnie, and Holmes, I suppose, would be it. I think that would be the starters. Yeah, that would be the starters. So if that is the case, Champagnie, I'm going to really like for value if he starts. Kispert would get a significant bump. Really bad matchup, but he'd be at least decent. Holmes at 4.8K, solid value. Keyshawn, playable. Bub, playable, but the price points are up. They'll probably be really low owned tomorrow. And then Poole, of course, is playable. Just really bad spot here. And then if they're in, I'm not really going to mess with too much here. Everyone's priced up. I'm probably just some interest in like Poole. Bub should move it back into the starting lineup with no Middleton. Wouldn't really like too much here if they're all in. All right, Orlando, great matchup here. I like quite a bit here. I don't care that Franz and Paulo busted last game. This is just such a good spot for both of them. I love both. I give the slight edge to Franz now that they're this close in price point, but I think both are fantastic. Anthony Black was dealing with an illness. I don't know if that's why we've seen his minutes tick down of late and Cole Anthony's tick back up. But if we get 30 minutes of Cole Anthony at 5.1K, if I knew Cole got 30 minutes tomorrow, I would play him. I would absolutely play him. But I don't know if the illness is what's been bothering Anthony Black or they just want to give Cole minutes right now. But if we get 30 minutes from him tomorrow, I think he's one of the better values on the slate. Wendell Jr. has been starting the last 2 games, has played around 30 minutes. He continues to start. The thing with Wendell Jr. is when they start him, they typically want to give him around 30 minutes. Like, they won't start him in Trolls minutes like they will with Goga, and I think he's kind of earned the starting job of late. So another really solid value, assuming he starts. I'm not going to mess with like KCP, those type guys. All right, moving on to Miami. Okay spot here going up against the Bucks. I mean, I think it's mainly just Harrow and Bam Adebayo. I think Harrow looks great. Great spot going up against the Bucks. I really like Tyler Harrow. I think Bam's fine. Khalil Ware priced right. Andrew Wiggins is playable, I suppose. I'm not gonna mess with the values outside of like Davion Mitchell. They just hate Terry Rozier right now. So like I suspect Davion's just gonna continue to play all the minutes he can handle. They need him for his on-ball defense too. Like he's gonna be out there chasing Dame around, so they kind of need him out there for a ton of minutes tomorrow. So, yeah, I like Davion for value, and I really like Tyler Harrow, and I think Bam Adebayo is playable. All right, Bucks. Looks like Giannis is going to remain on a limit for tomorrow. We'll see about Dame, but if they're both on limits, I can't play either, and it takes everyone else out of play. Giannis is confirmed on a limit tomorrow, by the way, so don't play him. Dame, if he's on a limit, can't play. If Dame's not on a limit, sure, playable. Not going to get to anything. I think the Bucks one of my least favorite teams to target on the slate tomorrow. Taurean Prince is fine with no Bobby Portis, but he's also priced up. All right, moving on to Memphis. Really bad spot here. Little bit intrigued here by Zach Edey, just because they kind of need his size out there up against the Cavaliers. Like, if Jared Allen plays, would feel a little bit better about his minutes, but nothing confident. Brendan Clark's playable. Vince Williams at 3.3K should see around 15 to 20 minutes of fine value, but if he's somewhat chalky, I will just not play him. Jaren, Bane, Aldama's been on one of late. She'll play around 25 to 30 minutes. Good point per minute guy off the bench. I guess he's probably my favorite play. There's not much. All right, Cleveland really just depends on Garland now. We could have some great plays here. So if they're both out, if Ty Jerome is in the starting lineup, even if he comes off the bench, I love. If he starts, he'd be the best value play on the board. Then Sam Merrill would be a decent value. Then Evan Mobley, I would assume, starts at the 5. He would look great. Donovan Mitchell gets a massive bump. I would love him. DeAndre Hunter would even be fine at 4.8K. Strus as well. There will be a lot to like on this Cavs team if they're both out. If they're in, like Donnie, Jared Allen, a little bit intriguing. I think that's mainly it. Strus is playable. All right, last two games here, guys. Spurs, great spot here. I absolutely love De'Aaron Fox. Once again, he is too cheap still. He should be like a 10K player when he has the team to himself. He looks fantastic. Outside of that, though, I don't know what to do with this team. Bismack started, barely played. Charles Bassey, they wanted to keep it easy with his minutes, barely played. Sandro Mamukelashvili was a DNP 2 games ago. Plays the most of the bigs. Keep it on the starters. Whoever starts is fine. If it's Bismack starting, don't play Bismack. If they do start Bassey, I like Bassey. That just shows me that they want to play in minutes, right? Outside, they trolled the rotation. Vassell got benched at half. Sochan played 30 minutes. He moved in the starting lineup in the second half. Castle's priced up to 7-2 off the bench. Can't do that. It's really, I don't feel confident in anyone outside of De'Aaron Fox. And, yeah, everyone priced up as well. So, yeah, mainly just Fox. All right, good spot here. Spurs, they're horribly defensively without Victor Wembanyama, so this is a great spot to attack. And Kelly Olynyk started last game, played 24 minutes. If he starts again, I love him for value. Had a floor game, outlier game for him. Missy's remained in the starting lineup, but playing alongside Zion, it really hurts him, so I don't love. Alvarado still played 30 minutes off the bench, but he's priced right. This is a great spot, so like, Trey Murphy and Zion, I think are both really good. Zion on a limit, but still, production, no one's going to be able to stop him tomorrow. Really like Zion. I think Trey's good. CJ's playable. All right, last game of the night, guys. OKC at Minnesota. So, yeah, some interest in like SGA, some interest in like Chet. I think that's mainly it. Not standout plays to me. And then Minnesota, really bad matchup, but they're going to be without Randall, Gobert, Dante. Really like Nas at 7-8. Getting to the price point to where I think he should be. But his rates at the 5 compared to like the 4 and 5 are a lot better. Ant is just going to have to do everything for this team. And they played him 40 minutes last game. They played McDaniels 40 minutes. They played NAW 40 minutes. They're just thin. They're going to run an 8-man rotation, basically a 7-man rotation. So like all these guys are in play. Mike Conley, my least favorite. I'd rather play NAW. All these guys are in play. I think they're fine plays. I think McDaniels is priced right. I think everyone's priced right. Outside of, I think the top 2 guys are just pretty solid in Ant and Nas. You can play Nas. I'd prefer him to Mike Conley. And McDaniels, you could play him. He's a safe play, just the amount of minutes he's going to play. But almost 7K, I don't know if I can do it. And then Garza will get back up 5. Jalen Clark should see around 20 minutes off the bench. So viable large field flyer. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the slate. Hopefully you guys had a great night tonight. As always, I will talk to y'all in the next video.